Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe and turn on the post notification bell, comment down below and like the video. This is Ukongwe Bora Welfare Society, and our aim is to care and comfort our senior citizens, the elderly people in our society. So let's take a minute and look at the innocence of the elderly woman before us. She looks so vulnerable, and to me, that is one of the purest form of beauty, true beauty. Firstly, Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim sisters and brothers. So this being Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan, I thought let me read on the Quran's teaching about the elderly, and I was moved by how highly they are regarded in the Quran. And this really showed me the rights of the elders are really respected in Islam, and families are taught to honor and respect their elders instead of casting them out to the homes of the elderly. We will point out some of the traditions in this respect. There are several related traditions in the chapter Al-Isharat in Usul Al-Kafi. Abdullah ibn Sina narrated that Imam Sadiq said, part of reverence to God, the exalted, the high, is to show reverence to an old man. And that is really, really amazing here. So Imam Sadiq quoted on the authority of the noble prophet of God, and these are words that are quoted directly from the Quran. Anyone who recognizes the high status of old people and respects them, God will save him from experiencing the might and fear of the resurrection day. Imam Sadiq said, there are three whose rights none are ignorant of except a hypocrite known for his hypocrisy, an elderly, white-haired person in Islam, the bearer of the Quran, and the just Imam. So clearly the elderly are highly exalted, and they are given a really important they're a really important part of the society, yeah. So part of reverence to God the exalted, the high, is showing reverence to an elderly, a white-haired believer. Whoever respects a believer has begun with the respect of God, and whoever holds an elderly believer in light estimation, God will send to him one who will hold him in contempt before he dies. So God the Almighty himself said, white hair is my light, and I am ashamed to punish my light with my fire. And Ibn Abi Shuba narrated that the Prophet of God admonished against cutting white hair and said, it is the light of the believer. So there's this story which has been written in the Quran, and it's saying, a man from the Hozayl tribe went to see God's prophet and said, O prophet of God, I am old, my bones are fragile, I have lost my power and cannot pray and fast as I should. The prophet said, repeat your words. There are no sticks or stones around which are not crying for you as a sign of mercy. How can God not have mercy upon you? When it was time to punish the people of Lot, God the Almighty put it off until dawn. When the prophet Lot asked why, Gabriel told him that God says, there is an old man with a white beard sleeping on his back amongst these people. I have put off their punishment until he turns his face around. God's prophet said, every morning and night, God the Exalted looks upon the face of the old man and says, O my servant, you have become old, your bones have become fragile, your skin has become delicate, your time of death is near, and the time has come for your arrival before me. Therefore be ashamed before me, for I am too ashamed of your white hair to chastise you in the fire. Then the prophet cried. They asked him the reason for crying. He said, I weep for one before whom God is ashamed, but he is not ashamed before God. So Imam Sadiq said, God treats people in their 70s with honor and is ashamed before 80-year-olds. Thus he orders that good deeds be recorded for them and their sins be wiped out. that is a really, really moving statement, that it shows that the elderly people are really considered to be a great part of us, of our lives and everything. So respecting the old will save you from the penalty. God's prophet said, "He who respects the old for their age and white hair, God the exalted will safeguard him from the terror of the day of judgment." That is a really good promise, and it clearly shows us that we should respect the elderly people, So we quoted several traditions that stressed the importance of respecting the elderly. There may be many people in any society, many old people in any society. The civilized world has opted to separate them from their sweet homes and cast them out into homes for the elderly. And we've seen these stories, we've seen so many stories of people from a certain community who, and most of them are like relatives and children of the elderly, and they ought to take the land of the elderly, so they kill them or they accuse them to be practicing witchcraft so that they can be cast out of the community, so that they can acquire the land for the elderly. And yet these elderly people worked so hard to acquire this land, and no matter, to me, I personally believe, no matter what someone is doing, if someone is practicing witchcraft, that is their, you have no right to take their life because they're practicing witchcraft, because that is their decision and that is their life decision that they chose. So we need to respect everyone's decision, and that should not be a justification for you to mistreat and go ahead to kill or to do something that is not respectful to the elderly. We quoted several traditions that stressed the importance of respecting the elderly. There may be many old people in any society. So the civilized world has opted to separate them from their sweet homes, as we've said, and cast them out into homes for the elderly. However, Islam has stressed that their white hair is a sign of due respect and a source of blessings for us. Islam instructs us to honor them now that they have approached the end of their life. We should not oppose them or treat them with anger and hurt their feelings. We should realize that they have become impatient due to their old age. They have lost the ability to withstand difficulties such as anger, thirst, and other things. We should also learn that God is shy of old people. They should be shy of God too. They should not commit sins. There are some people who have gotten used to sinning, They should cleanse their souls by sincerely repenting to God and seeking God's forgiveness and mercy. And so, many people disregard the elderly, and they think that the elderly, they are too old, that they can't think well, like these myths that come with the name an elderly person, and these are the things that we should remove, because as you've seen, most of these elderly people that are here, like the 80s and 90s years old, they're the ones who helped fight for our independence. Even in Kenya, they helped fight for our independence. They went for the world wars and fought, and they helped us. They're a really great part of our community. And as soon as we we realize that the elderly are really important, they are really important as they give us blessings. Without the elderly people, where will we be getting our blessings from? And they preserve the traditions of our community. Without them, we wouldn't know what happened in the what happened in our respective communities, like in Kisii, in Kale, how did you carry your koito and all. So finally, you never know what battles someone is fighting, so always be kind. Wema Hawozi, thank you so much for tuning in, and hope to catch you next time. Bye.